It's your boy TWV checking in for another edition of the SmackDown recap and review. Tonight's episode of SmackDown was a beautiful blend of everything, of promos, backstage segments, matches. It was a great episode overall. Normally SmackDown is usually a slump show the last couple weeks since they've transitioned to 3 hours and Raw's transitioned to Netflix. Still has been some great wrestling content, but in just comparing Raw versus SmackDown to NXT, it's been Raw at 1, NXT at 2, SmackDown at 3. Kind of has been lacking a little bit. But due to this being the final show before the Elimination Chamber, Triple H got in the booth and cooked us up a masterpiece. So with that being said, let's get to the review. The next segment featured WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus making a special appearance in her hometown of Toronto, Canada. Dressed in a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey, Stratus received a warm reception from the audience who greeted her with chants of "Thank you, Trish." She expressed her excitement about returning to Toronto, mentioning that this was her 25th anniversary in WWE and that her children will be attending their first live wrestling event to see her in action. Stratus introduced WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton, highlighting Stratton's recent impact on the women's division. This led to an impromptu match between Stratton and Women's United States Champion Chelsea Green. The bout was competitive, showcasing the talents of both women. However, the match concluded by disqualification when Nia Jax and Candice LeRae interfered, attacking both competitors. Stratus and Stratton managed to fight off Jax and LeRae, setting up their stage for a tag team match tomorrow at Elimination Chamber. So, the segment was cool. It was a little long-winded in my opinion. Of course, we're in Toronto, so we're celebrating Trish Stratus. But, of course, you had to have somebody come interfere, throw the match up to get to Nia Jax and Candice LeRae interfering, since that is their opponents tomorrow. And of course, this entire time they've been getting the ups on them since this got announced. Nia Jax has been beating up Tiffany Stratton after the matches. Candice LeRae has been interfering if she's not in a match with Tiffany Stratton. Pretty much just storyline progression, because we had to throw Charlotte Flair in the mix to be like, hey, I challenge you for WrestleMania. I'm all for Trish Stratus getting her flowers. Really didn't think she was needed necessarily in the road to WrestleMania. But I do see after this tag match, this is Nia Jax's WrestleMania match with Trish Stratus. I do feel like Candice LeRae does get left off of WrestleMania. She just doesn't have enough star power, unfortunately. But with the women's division being so deep, I could see her weasel her way into like a multi-women match. And weasel is a wild word to say. She's deserving. But when you just start thinking of the entire WrestleMania card, pre-Elimination Chamber and who and what and where their people are going to be, yeah, you're left off, unfortunately. But yeah, I do see this building to a WrestleMania, like I said previously. But all in all, it was a great segment. Give it a 3. It was a storyline advancing segment. It wasn't nothing too spectacular. So let's get to the next section. The next segment was between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. A backstage segment unfolded between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, shedding light on internal dynamics within the bloodline. The segment commenced with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa engaging in intense discussion backstage. Fatu acknowledged his accidental super kick to Sikoa during their previous match, expressing remorse for the mishap. Sikoa displayed a mix of understanding and authority, accepted the apology, but emphasized the importance of focusing on their family's legacy. He tasked Fatu with a pivotal mission to participate in the United States Championship tournament that evening, aiming to bring the title back to the bloodline. Fatu agreed, though his demeanor suggested reservations about the assignment. So, we're basically just working toward Jacob Solo at WrestleMania. Segment was cool for me. Got the point across. Tama Tonga definitely has his reservations about Solo. Like at the end of the segment when Jacob walked out, Tonga was side-eyeing Solo. So, Tama Tonga, I feel like is going to tell him like, yeah, we got to get him out of here, or whatever it may be. Whatever it leads in the next month to them making the WrestleMania match is going to happen. Like, if Jacob's having matches and Solo's costing them, or vice versa, whatever it may be, for them to get to a point where it's like, man, what's up with you? Like, I definitely feel like it'll be a great match. I'm not getting Uso vibes from last year, unfortunately, because Solo and Jacob have two completely different movesets. So it would definitely, like, Jacob's just, he can fly like a luchador. Then he has the power moves of a Braun Strowman or a Braun Breaker. Like, same thing with Solo. Solo has a little bit of high flying in him. He'll jump off the top rope every once in a while, but he has all the power moves. Like, yeah, they're both Samoan, and you know their moves that is similar, but it's different at the same time. So I definitely can see that it'll be something beautiful. With that being said, let's get to the first in-ring action of the night. So the first set of in-ring action for the night stemmed from a earlier segment pre-show, where in real life, WWE superstar Shinsuke Nakamura, his brother had passed away last night, so he wasn't on the show. At first, it was advertised it was going to be LA Knight versus Shinsuke for the United States Championship. That plan got altered, and they altered it into 3 singles matches, which whoever won each single match will go on to a triple threat right before the main event, and whoever won that match will be the #1 contender. So the first match was Andrade versus Jacob Fatu. The bout showcased a dynamic contrast between Fatu's raw power and Andrade's agility, delivering an engaging spectacle. Some of my match highlights were early exchanges. The match commenced with both competitors exchanging chops in the corner. Andrade gained momentum with a whip across the ring, executing the flare flip, and followed up with a diving crossbody to the floor. High-flying action. Andrade continued his aerial assault with a Frankensteiner to Fatu on the outside. He then ascended the top turnbuckle, launching into a moonsault over the post, landing on Fatu outside of the ring. Turning the tide. Upon returning from the commercial break, Andrade attempted a kip up, which is met by a lariat from Fatu, shifting the match's momentum. Near falls. Andrade executed a stunner followed by a moonsault, coming close to securing the victory. Fatu responded with a series of corner hip attacks and an impaler DDT, showcasing his resilience. Decisive finish. Fatu sealed the match with a double jump moonsault, pinning Andrade for the win and advancing in the tournament to determine the #1 contender for the United States Championship. This victory positioned Jacob Fatu as a formidable contender in the ongoing tournament. So this match was a banger. Definitely a 4 right out the gate. We're going to rate it with a 4 right out the gate. Andrade is one of the best wrestlers on SmackDown. When you put him in the ring, he gives it 110%. So, put my demon on TV, man. Put my demon on TV. But yeah, man, Jacob Fatu is out of this world. Fatu! He out of this world, man. He's out of this world. So I definitely see him getting a WrestleMania match regardless. Like, Andrade, in my speculation, should be in a 4-way to 5-way United States Championship match for WrestleMania. It should be Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, Shinsuke Nakamura. If you just want to put bodies out there. I feel like in the next month, Jimmy Uso's road to WrestleMania is going to start unfolding because, of course, they're not going to keep him on TV. Like I said before, Triple H is pushing him as a single superstar. But yeah, man, this match was great. Fatu, like I said, advanced to the triple threat main event. So let's get to the next segment. A backstage segment featured WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes and R-Truth. The scene unfolded in Cody's lavishly arranged locker room, generously stocked with an array of fine foods and delicacies. R-Truth, visibly impressed by the spread, inquired about how Cody had come in such abundance. Cody humorously remarked that one might consider selling their soul to The Rock to attain such luxuries. In response, R-Truth jested that The Rock is the soul man and reminisced about watching him team up with Tony Atlas. He then playfully suggested that Cody shouldn't be selfish and share the bounty. Cody laughed and encouraged R-Truth to help himself to the offerings. So, for R-Truth to be in such a major storyline but in a comedic role is pretty dope, because R-Truth doesn't get the credit he deserves just as a wrestler and a performer. Like, one of my homies, actually my boy Jermaine, text me like, man, why is R-Truth so goofy? Like, he's like, he had seen a TikTok when R-Truth was in the Royal Rumble and he grabbed the ladder, thought he was in the ladder match. He said he seen one where he ran out for the Royal Rumble, but he ran out for the Women's Royal Rumble. So R-Truth is, like, I told him, like, man, he's like the comedy gimmick, but he's just like top tier. Like, he goes out there trying to make the wrestlers break character, which will mean laugh while they're live. But man, he does it so effortlessly, like you don't even think he's like really trying. You just know like this is R-Truth, like even when the camera cuts off. But yeah, it was really cool to see R-Truth in this spotlight, because Cody Rhodes was trying so hard not to break character, but it just added so much to it because it's like with everybody else telling Cody like, you know, you make your decisions, stuff like that. And R-Truth just like, hey man, share the wealth. Like, I don't care what you got going on. This back here is where it's at. And then he was telling Cody Rhodes like he should tell Rock, like recommend Rock to get more of XYZ for the locker room. Hey, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But with that being said, R-Truth is a legend, like I've said before. But let's get to the next segment. The next in-ring segment was a match between the Street Profits and Los Garza, which was overshadowed by an unexpected and chaotic multi-team brawl involving several tag teams. Pre-match, earlier in the evening, the Street Profits were confronted by Nick Aldis, who expressed disappointment over their recent actions, particularly their refusal to apologize to Legado del Fantasma for their previous backstage accusations. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford stood firm, declining to offer an apology. This disagreement set the stage for the night's match. As the Street Profits made their entrance for the scheduled match against Los Garza, they were unexpectedly attacked by DIY at the entrance ramp. Before the situation could de-escalate, Los Garza joined the fray, attacking DIY, adding to the chaos. The brawl intensified as Pretty Deadly rushed the ring to assault the Street Profits, seeking retribution for their earlier interference in a title match. The turmoil escalated further when the arrival of the Motor City Machine Guns, who targeted DIY, leading to a full-scale melee involving all of the aforementioned teams. Security personnel struggled to restore order, but the situation remained volatile, with wrestlers diving into the crowd and continuing their altercations. The segment concluded with security managing to separate the combatants, leaving the audience in anticipation of the repercussions this brawl would have on the tag division. This incident highlighted the intense rivalries and the competitive nature of the SmackDown Tag Team division, setting the stage for future confrontations and a possible multi-team match at the upcoming WrestleMania. So, this segment was cool. But like I said, when you have 4 to 5 tag teams, it really doesn't do anything for me. You literally put the entire tag division in a segment right here, which is good but bad, because it's like we know where this is going. Like we're going to take this to WrestleMania. We did a ladder match last year, so what are we going to do this year? You can't do a ladder match back-to-back years. People will be like, all right, y'all just doing, y'all copying and pasting. So would it be like an elimination style, or would it be like a tag team Royal Rumble? And if one competitor of the tag team is eliminated, you're down a man and you got to fight the yada yada yada. So definitely trying to figure out where they're gonna go with this. We got a month. Yeah, we got about a month and some change to figure it out. I do see the belts changing hands at WrestleMania. DIY already had the belts. Motor City Machine Guns already had the belts. Los Garza will never touch the belts. They're just, if you were going to put this ranking of who's next in line, I would have said Pretty Deadly, but the way the Street Profits have come back and have been repackaged, I definitely think they're the team that's going to win it at WrestleMania. I do feel like Montez Ford should have been a single superstar at least 3 years ago, at least in 2022. They definitely gave him a fake main event push. He had a main event match against Roman Reigns on the SmackDown, and he, in my opinion, he passed with flying colors. I think that same year, earlier in the year, he was in Elimination Chamber and he went crazy. He dove off the top of the damn Elimination Chamber like Montez Ford is a superstar. Like, he total package. He can go in the ring. He can cut the promo. He has the look. He has the charisma. He has the character. But they just keep him with Angelo Dawkins. No disrespect to big dogs, but when you in a tag team, there's always one wrestler that could become the superstar. As you can see in the Usos, Jay became the superstar. Jimmy is going to become the mid-carder. Matt and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy became the superstar. Matt Hardy became the mid-carder. Same thing with Shawn Michaels and his tag team back in the day. Shawn Michaels became the superstar. The other guy was a mid-carder. We can go Edge and Christian. Christian wasn't a mid carder, but Edge was Edge was a more main event player than Christian. So Edge was main event, and Christian was like main event, like tier C. Like he was like he was in the main event, but he was like lower on the main event rung back in the day. But let me not get in a tangent. But you get what I'm saying. Like it's just certain wrestlers that are just going to be in the mix but never win the belt, and then it's certain people who's like, okay, after we take the belt off them, you know, y'all next in line basically. But I did like the segment. I liked the brawling. It showed everybody cared and was passionate about it. Now I'm gonna walk back to the SmackDown Tag Division sucks because this segment showed that they actually put some thought and care into it versus just keep having these pass around tag matches. So I'm gonna be optimistic. Like I said, I'm pretty positive when it comes to this wrestling thing. So we shall see where it goes from here. So let's get to the next segment. Backstage segment unfolded between WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, contributing to the ongoing storyline involving LeRae's intriguing offer to Rhodes. In a candid exchange, Drew McIntyre approached Cody Rhodes backstage, acknowledging the weight of Rhodes' current predicament. McIntyre personally expressed sympathy, stating that he couldn't imagine the pressure Rhodes faced, but wondered how The Rock would react if Cody accepted his offer, only for The Rock to realize that Rhodes had sold his soul a long time ago. This remark alluded to Rhodes' complex relationship with The Rock, suggesting a deeper history between them. It hinted at the possibility that Rhodes had previously compromised his principles, setting the stage for future revelations in his storyline. So, when Drew McIntyre said this, in the heat of watching the show, I really couldn't sit with it and think about it. But, what if Cody Rhodes had sold his soul last year when they started the We Want Cody movement? He sold his soul to get that championship match, you know, and he used it. He used it by leveraging the fans did it himself, but he after the fans leveraged it into him getting the match back. What if he had sold his soul to Triple H? What if he sold his soul to Triple H to get that main event, match? Like in that whole road to WrestleMania was Cody Rhodes selling his soul on the low to get the championship. Like that's some crazy shit to think about. Like, but then this is my dark horse. It's not even a dark horse. Like this would be it's a couple people that could make sense for selling their soul to The Rock. But Drew McIntyre is definitely the one I feel like when Cody says no, Drew McIntyre wins the Elimination Chamber. Like I personally in my heart, I want John Cena to win. Then, as you can see, got my CM Punk hoodie on, so I want CM Punk to win. But then it's like Drew McIntyre makes the most sense from a I'm gonna sell my soul standpoint, because when Drew was on, when Drew's contract was up and all that, I think The Rock personally delivered Drew's new contract, or when Drew re-signed, he gifted him like a huge ass sword and as a re-signing gift and all that. Like The Rock is really high on Drew McIntyre, and I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity to catapult Drew McIntyre to that superstardom. Like he's flirted with that superstardom. Like they gave him the ball at WrestleMania 38, and he was a champ. He had a decent little run, but ever since then he hasn't got back to that main event tier. And I feel like with just how Drew McIntyre's character last year developed when he had the feud with Punk, and they built a year-long feud off of Punk being injured half the year, like, and he did some of his best promo work. He did some of his best tweeting. he was getting that shit off on Twitter. Drew McIntyre he's up there for last year was one of my superstars of the year. He was definitely in that top. He's in that top 5, and he wasn't 5. He wasn't 1, but he wasn't 5. He was, you can put him somewhere, but he was up there. He was tearing the house down. Just overall as a character, like between in-ring to promos to extending the storyline further through social media and TikTok, and he was a real wrestler with a TP total package. Pause. That was crazy. But yeah, man, that's who I think could sell their soul, and I feel like that's inevitable. But with that being said, let's get to the next segment. The next segment was my favorite part of the show. It was a significant promo unfolding between Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Logan Paul. This exchange set the tone for the upcoming Elimination Chamber match scheduled for today. At the Rogers Center in Toronto, where these 5 superstars, along with John Cena, will vie for a chance to challenge Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. So, some of my highlights of the segment, first will be Drew McIntyre's assertion. There we go. The segment kicked off with Drew McIntyre confidently declaring his readiness for the Elimination Chamber match, positioning himself as a top contender with the goal of facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Sitting cross-legged on the announce desk, McIntyre reflected on the past fear of John Cena's influence in WWE. He humorously imagined how a 2010 Cena would mock his 2015 self, poking fun at Cena's Hollywood departure and his bald spot. McIntyre emphasized that he's no longer feared by Cena's political power, vowing to bury him inside the Elimination Chamber. He also hinted at the injustice he faced in 24, further fueling his desire for retribution. Like I said, Drew McIntyre, one of the superstars of the year last year, and like he said, one of the huge injustices he had was he beat Seth Rollins to open up night 2 of WrestleMania last year, and then he mocked Punk, standing on the announce desk like just mocking Punk, like waving the title in his face like a Johnson, and then CM Punk knocked him off the announce desk and started beating him up with his arm brace, and then Damian Priest came to cash in. So McIntyre only had the belt for 5 minutes, so that was one of his injustices. He won Money in the Bank last year and went to cash it in. And CM Punk, it was a ref bump in that match with him and Priest, and Punk slid down, counted the 1-2, and then he faked the 3, and then the camera cut to showing who the ref was, and it was CM Punk, and he screwed Drew McIntyre, and he went to go choke Punk out, and then Punk kicked McIntyre in the balls and shoved him to the ground, and that was the way Priest retained his title. But yeah, man, he's come to having the gold and then lost it in moments, try to recapture it again, and hey man, but it's so many layers to the Drew McIntyre character, and this is why I feel like he sells his soul to really become that #1 guy in the company. But next, 2, Damian Priest's challenge. Damian Priest interrupted McIntyre, challenging his assertions and laying claim to a championship opportunity. Priest accused McIntyre of complaining without taking action, mocking him for not being a true top-tier talent. In response, McIntyre defended his position, stating he was merely speaking the truth and referencing his past accomplishments and challenges, including pursuit of titles. Priest then mocked McIntyre's obsession with certain storylines, especially involving CM Punk, and suggested McIntyre's focus was misguided. Seth Rollins' bold entrance. Seth Rollins made a dramatic entrance, raising the attention even further. He mocked McIntyre and Priest, positioning himself as the superior competitor. Rollins referred to the trio as the Three Amigos and reminisced about past events like Money in the Bank and addressed Priest's earlier cash-in attempt. He boldly stated that neither Priest nor McIntyre stood a chance against him and was ready to face whatever challenges came his way. CM Punk's confrontation. CM Punk then entered the scene ready for a verbal sparring match with Rollins. Punk questioned Rollins' credibility, referencing their shared history and past confrontation. Punk proceeded to deliver a scathing critique of Rollins, Priest, and McIntyre. He warned Rollins not to underestimate him, addressed Priest's so he addressed Priest. Priest said to Priest that he really doesn't have anything against Priest, but once the Elimination Chamber doors close, it's just business. And mocked McIntyre's perceived lack of a soul, which he said he took McIntyre's soul last year at Elimination Chamber. No, not Elimination Chamber. Shit, Hell in a Cell. Well, not Hell in a Cell. Bad Blood. Go watch that match. Go watch that. As one of the greatest Hell in a Cell matches I've seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of them. That's up there with Taker and Mankind. That's up there with Taker and Shawn. Like, it's goated. It's top 3. I wouldn't gas it and say it's like 1 or 2. It's top 3 though, for damn sure. But with that, Punk emphasized his readiness for Elimination Chamber, declaring that he will overcome all obstacles on his way to WrestleMania. Logan Paul's provocative remarks. The segment wrapped up with Logan Paul making an appearance to taunt the assembled wrestlers. He belittled their achievements and suggested that his presence alone elevated the match's prestige. Drawing boos from the audience, Paul criticized Cena's absence, mocked Rollins' attire, and belittled McIntyre's championship pursuits. He acknowledged Priest's past success, but suggested his relevance had faded. Paul's appearance added a new layer of intrigue, setting the stage for possible future confrontation. So, beautiful segment. Definitely by far my favorite segment of the night. Everybody got their shit off. Punk said that Rollins was dressed like an oven mitt. He said that he's going to beat McIntyre ass for fun tomorrow. Said that Cena's road to WrestleMania, if it got to go through him, he won't make it to WrestleMania. It was just great overall. Like, McIntyre still voicing his frustrations for 2024, just add an additional layer. Being obsessed with Punk, like every other superstar says. Like, Priest even said, like, you're obsessed with Punk. Like, look at you. He's like, you're sitting cross-legged right now while you're talking to us. So definitely a great way to get everybody on there but Cena. Cena's just popping up tomorrow. I'm going to the chamber and, showing them what it's worth. But I'm excited for the match. Like I said, my dark horse there's not really a dark horse with 5 of these superstars. But I do see that Priest wins because pre the match, I'm assuming the match main events. So whenever Cody's segment is and he tells The Rock no, I feel like it won't be on screen. I feel like it'll be recorded, but it won't be shown at the show. I feel like next week, once he won the Elimination Chamber, they'll show the segment of where he went to go talk to Rock or something like that, shook Rock's hand, and Rock says, "You're going to be my champion. You've always been the guy that I wanted to be my champion." Whatever it may be. They may touch on when you could have left the company and you stayed and re-signed, and now this is your moment. Some way to just give that perspective of everything that went on in 2024. As much as Drew keeps talking about 2024 has to be a focal point. In this storyline some kind of way. Because I think he re-signed in 2024. If not 2024, 2023, but I'm really assuming it's 2024. But yeah, definitely. If it's not Drew, it's Punk. And Punk selling his soul to The Rock will be the wildest turn. But then Punk can't sell his soul because he has the Paul Heyman favor. Unless he has to sell his soul to even cash the Paul Heyman favor in. Now we on to something. So we're going to see how it all boils out later on today. Right now it is 10:10 a.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna be strapped in, ready to rock and roll, because I know tonight, tomorrow when I have my reaction video, boy oh boy, the road to WrestleMania is gonna get a little bit clearer and it's gonna get interesting. So let's get to the next segment. In-ring action was the second #1 Contenders U.S. Championship qualifying match. Santos Escobar faced LA Knight in the qualifying match for the United States Championship #1 Contenders Triple Threat match. Match highlights. Early exchanges. The match began with both competitors exchanging a collar and elbow tie-up, resulting in a clean break. Escobar gained the initial advantage with a shoulder block, but Knight countered with a knee lift. Escobar then executed a drop kick followed by a back body drop to the apron, where he hung Knight's neck over the top rope. Outside action. Escobar continued his offense by sending Knight into the steel step, showcasing his agility and control. In-ring maneuvers. Back inside, the action intensified with both men exchanging chops and near falls. Escobar delivered a boot to Knight's face and attempted a hurricanrana from the top rope, but Knight countered, leading to a near fall. Escobar then hit a running shoulder tackle and a senton splash, demonstrating his high-flying prowess. Climatic finish. The match reached its peak when Escobar attempted a cross-body block from the top of the rope. Knight, however, caught him mid-air, transitioning smoothly into his finishing move, the BFT, and secured the pinfall victory. And with that being said, LA Knight moved on to the triple threat match later on the night. So it was him and Jacob Fatu so far. There's one spot left, and we'll get back to that spot later. But LA Knight, that caught him in mid-air BFT was tough. LA Knight, highly underrated, man. Highly underrated. He can definitely go in that ring. Same thing I said about Montez Ford. Same thing with LA Knight. Total package. Pause again. Like, he has the look. He has the character. He has the promo. He has the in-ring skills. I feel like this will be the last time LA Knight, this WrestleMania, he will be in the mid card. I feel like next year he will be chasing for a title. Just early post WrestleMania 2026 speculation. LA Knight wins the Royal Rumble. I think LA Knight gets his shot next year. Because if we didn't pump Jey Uso up, I feel like we can do the same thing with LA Knight. And LA Knight has been a single superstar this whole time. I just feel like, hey, give him the ball and let him run with it, and we'll see where it goes. Because he's going to make magic. So that's why I think in 2026 we'll win the Royal Rumble. It is in Saudi Arabia too, so certain superstars aren't even going to be on the show, just due to either religious reasons. I don't know, but I'm all the way in next year. Let's get through the night in Elimination Chamber and get to Vegas. But yeah, LA Knight is a top tier superstar, and I can't wait till he gets that moment to showcase he's a top tier superstar. With that being said, let's get to the next segment. Shows Sami Zayn addressing his long-standing rivalry with Kevin Owens in a segment that set the stage for their unsanctioned match at the upcoming Elimination Chamber event. Standing in the ring at Toronto's Scotiabank Arena, Zayn acknowledged their tumultuous history and invited Owens to join him, emphasizing the importance of this final confrontation. He expressed a desire to look Kevin's in the eye and settle their differences once and for all. In response, Owens appeared via the arena's video screen, standing alone in the empty Rogers Center, the site of their impending match. He reflected on their numerous battles across Ontario, highlighting that despite their shared history, Zayn had portrayed him as the antagonist. Owens warned that after their encounter, Zayn might find himself confined to a wheelchair, unable to care for his family. He made it clear that he would not offer assistance, as he believed Zayn would have brought it upon himself. Zayn, visibly moved, admitted to feeling nervous, not about his own well-being, but about the potential consequences of their match on Owens and his family. He conveyed a readiness to accept the ramifications of his actions, even if it meant facing their family's disapproval. Zayn concluded with a resolute statement, including his preparedness to end Owens' career. These boys cooked in this promo. But like I said, at least in 3 videos by now, these two are wrestling soulmates. So when they're at it with each other, just know you're going to get the best work out of them. I do feel like this may be the last time that Zayn and Owens face each other in this realm. If they are later in their careers, I really felt like it deserved WrestleMania, but for them to be both from Canada, this is their WrestleMania tomorrow. I don't know where Sami goes from here, if he wins or loses. They're saying Kevin Owens is going to face Randy Orton. I don't know how Randy Orton gets into the fold of this. I do remember when they were in Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel, their match didn't actually start. They fought each other outside, and it basically got called off. So I feel like Randy will be getting his lick back for that. I got mixed feelings about that, because yes, I want to see Randy Orton at WrestleMania, but it's like, you just gonna, hot shot a 1 month feud with Kevin Owens when we've had a whole storyline built for basically a month now with him and Sami Zayn, which we can build again to another match at WrestleMania. Like, we can keep whoever loses, we keep them off air for like, today's March 1st. So we keep them off air till the 3rd week of March, because we got to get you back in the fold right before WrestleMania. We kind of got to put you in the mix, so you can have a credible storyline going into your WrestleMania match. But I feel like they got to round 2 this at WrestleMania. They had to round 2 this at WrestleMania. Like, I don't know. This is an unsanctioned match, so I don't know where you go from here, unless we go the I Quit route. Which I won't have no problem. I don't think there's ever been an I Quit match at WrestleMania. I would have to go check the facts. I'm not going to do that right now. But, yeah, I just feel like after this, we go I Quit. And then somebody's off TV for a while. Maybe both of them off of TV for a while. And, you get a segment, they're coming back talking to GMs, trying to come back. Whatever it may be. Like, I'm just speculating at this point. But, overall, beautiful segment. These two are going to put on a masterclass at Elimination Chamber. Will be match of the night without a shadow of a doubt. But with that being said, let's get to the next segment. The next segment was between Miz and Carmelo Hayes, and then Miz and Cody Rhodes. So the Miz was seen backstage attempting to recruit Carmelo Hayes for a tag team partnership, pitching the duo as Melo Don't Miz is all him. Hayes declined the offer, stating that he can handle this match on his own. At the juncture, Cody Rhodes entered the scene, and Miz seized the opportunity to engage him in conversation. The Miz began by inquiring about Cody's plans, to which Cody admitted he was uncertain. Seizing the moment, The Miz suggested that aligning The Rock could elevate Cody's status beyond WWE, hinting at opportunities in Hollywood. He said that he lives in Hollywood. The Rock owns Hollywood. So he warned that if Cody declined The Rock's offer, somebody else might seize the chance. This remark underscored the potential ramifications of Cody's decision. And The Miz did a beautiful job here between both segments. The first half of the segment, I'm not a fan of him making a partnership with Carmelo Hayes. I feel like Carmelo Hayes should just be a single superstar. But at the same time, The Miz is an ultimate professional. He's been in every type of situation you can think of in the WWE. He's been at the start of WrestleMania. He's been in the middle of WrestleMania. He's been in the main event of WrestleMania. So he has so much knowledge in his tenure here with the company that his knowledge will really elevate Carmelo Hayes. So him being around him, I'm cool with. Them being a tag team and getting on screen time, thumbs down. I don't care for it. Just not my thing. Him speaking to Cody though, and really speaking his piece was really dope. Because he put more emphasis on it. Like he said, yeah, I live in Hollywood, but The Rock, he runs this. Like he can put you in his $500 million movie series. Even though a lot of The Rock's movies suck, and he needs to go film the last Fast and Furious before I get on his ass. Because I've been waiting for that movie at least 3 years. Like, come on, we're at movie 10 and a half, because it's 2 parts to the last movie. Like, come on, man, let's wrap this shit up. But yeah, man, the underlying of this entire segment though said that somebody else is going to seize the chance. We know somebody else is going to seize the chance. Cody's not selling his soul. I don't think. But somebody else is going to sell his soul, and they're gonna. Cody loses at WrestleMania. There's no way Cody retains. But this is all with this storyline. But yeah, man, Miz did some great work here. Let's get to the next segment. The next in-ring action was Braun Strowman facing Carmelo Hayes in a match to determine the final participant in the United States #1 Contenders Triple Threat match. The bout was filled with high-intensity action and dramatic twists. Some of my match highlights: early dominance, Braun Strowman showcased his strength early on, overpowering Hayes with his size and power moves. Interference, the match took a turn when Tama Tonga appeared ringside, attempting to distract Strowman. Solo Sikoa soon joined, attacking Strowman with a chair. Despite the assault, Strowman remained unfazed, retaliating with chair shots of his own. A deceptive finish. As Strowman re-entered the ring, Hayes mimicked Eddie Guerrero's tactics by pretending to be struck by the chair. The referee, seeing Strowman holding the chair and Hayes laying motionless, disqualified Strowman, granting Hayes the victory. Post-match, Strowman, angered by the outcome, targeted Tama Tonga, delivering a powerful release powerbomb inside the ring. This match set the stage for the triple threat contest later that evening, where Hayes, along with Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, will compete for the #1 contender spot for the United States Championship. So it was cool. The match had some importance for the end of the night, but it was Solo Sikoa showing his loyalty to Jacob, which is fake loyalty. But he wanted Jacob to get into the triple threat match and not have really no competition. Because in-ring wrestling wise, I would say Jacob Fatu is the best wrestler in the triple threat. But then I gotta go. I'm conflicted because Carmelo Hayes can really wrestle too. Carmelo Hayes doesn't have the power of Jacob Fatu, but he has everything else. So it would have to be a 1A, 1B, and then LA Knight would be like the second tier, like, because LA Knight can wrestle his ass off, but he cannot wrestle like Carmelo Hayes and Jacob Fatu. Those two are just in a different planet. And Carmelo Hayes is he might be my age, 26, 27. So it's like, whew, Carmelo Hayes' ceiling is insane. Like, man, That guy, man. Future WrestleMania main events are him and Braun Breaker. They're going to main event against each other. I can see it in the future. That's going to be this generation Cena and Batista. Everybody on Twitter, like I said in the previous video, be hating that my boy be getting his ass whooped. But he's on TV. He getting TV time. That's all that matters. If he was getting his ass whooped and not getting TV time, I would be mad. I see Carmelo Hayes every week. And I'm cool with that. Yes, should he win the United States Championship? That's who I want to win in my heart. But I feel like it'll be LA Knight at WrestleMania winning it back. Or shock value, Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso both winning championships at WrestleMania. That would be something cool. I don't think they do that. That's in the back of my mind. Like, damn, that would be dope as fuck. But yeah, I don't think they do that. And with that being said, let's get to the next. Next in-ring action was a 6-woman tag team match that featured Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez facing Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Bayley. This match was a pivotal prelude to the upcoming Elimination Chamber event, showcasing the talent and dynamics of the WWE's women's division. One of the deepest divisions in all of professional wrestling. You know I'm pro women's wrestling, but let's get to the match. Opening exchanges. The match began with Naomi and Liv Morgan as the legal competitors. Naomi delivered to kick Liv in the head, sending her to the outside. Bayley then tagged in, executing a suicide dive onto Liv. She returned to the ring and performed another suicide dive, this time onto Roxanne Perez. In-ring action. Back from a commercial break, Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez were in the ring. Bianca Belair tagged in, hitting her crossbody off the top rope and a drop kick on Raquel. She followed with a suplex and a handspring moonsault, covering Raquel for a near fall. Bianca continued with right hands in the corner before Naomi tagged in. Liv Morgan entered the ring but was met with a backbreaker from Bianca. Naomi climbed the top rope, but Raquel tripped her, allowing Perez to tag in. Perez threw Naomi into the corner. Naomi countered with a kick and a bulldog. Bayley tagged in, hitting an elbow drop from the top rope, but Liv broke the pin. Bianca spine busted Liv, and Raquel delivered a big boot to Bianca. Naomi sent Raquel outside, and both teams engaged in chaos. Bayley attempted a Bayley-to-Bayley superplex on Perez, who countered with a kick into her finishing move, Pop Rocks. Perez covered Bayley for the victory pinfall. Following the match, Roxanne celebrated in the ring but was attacked by Alexa Bliss, who delivered a Sister Abigail DDT. This match not only highlighted the athleticism and storytelling prowess of the participants, but also set the stage for future rivalries and matches, particularly with Roxanne Perez's victory over the season vet Bayley and the post-match confrontation with Alexa Bliss. I've said it before, I'm planting the flag in the ground. Post-Elimination Chamber, it is going to be Roxanne Perez versus Bayley at WrestleMania. There is no way around it. Alexa Bliss, I mean, I get it, but she had to attack somebody post-match, and Roxanne Perez is the upstart. She just got called up from NXT, so she was the one that was going to have to not take the L, but take the bump. So I was cool with it. I'm all in on Roxanne Perez and Bayley because, like I've said before in a previous video, Bayley had one of my favorite matches of WrestleMania weekend last year, her and Io Sky. I loved the match so much I bought the damn t-shirt from the match. So I'm an avid Bayley fan. I'm an avid Io Sky fan. I'm an avid Roxanne Perez fan. So when they have their match WrestleMania weekend, the shirt's gonna get copped. Shirt's instantly getting copped. Like as soon as I get into the arena that weekend, the shirt getting copped. Like I'm like WrestleMania and bigger pay-per-views, they do individual matches on t-shirts. So however the match card falls off for WrestleMania, I'm damn near I'm getting every single t-shirt. Like, so be prepared for the merch haul when we do the Vegas vlog. Segment with Charlotte Flair being interviewed backstage by Byron Saxton regarding the upcoming tag team match featuring Tiffany, Stratton, and Trish Stratus. Charlotte expressed that while their tag team might appear cute, after the match, Tiffany Stratton will face a more significant challenge, Charlotte herself. She warned Tiffany to be prepared, stating that there will be no assistance at the end of that rainbow. Charlotte emphasized that no matter where Tiffany goes, she will be there, reminding her that her time is running out and they will meet at WrestleMania 41. So, with this promo, as you can tell, Charlotte is the heel running into WrestleMania. Hey, whatever. Didn't think Charlotte needed to win. I feel like we could have had somebody else. Io Sky. Thought Io Sky was going to win. Challenge Rhea Ripley. And then we could have got somebody facing Tiffany out of the women's chamber here. But, I don't book the shows. Didn't work out in my favor. I hope Charlotte loses. I don't think Charlotte needs to beat Tiffany right here. But at the same time, Tiffany beating Charlotte at Mania, it helps her credibility, but I feel like a 3-match series with Charlotte would help her a lot more. So I feel like she loses at Mania. She loses the rematch. And she gets the win back at SummerSlam. If we drag it that long. SummerSlam is August. That's April. So May, June, July, August. That's 4. We could drag that 4 months. We could drag that 4 months. We could drag that 4 months for sure. Cause she loses at Mania, rematch at Backlash. I don't see her winning Money in the Bank twice. So yeah, we could drag it. We could drag it to August. And this year SummerSlam is going to be really big too because it's 2 nights. So I do feel like they could pull the trigger in. That's when I feel like John Cena wins the 17th championship. I feel like they pull the trigger in because first 2 nights SummerSlam, Cena winning 17 in the main event, historic, memorable. It's always going to plant a flag on the 2-night SummerSlam as an official thing going forward. Speculations and hypothesizing, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get to the next segment. The next in-ring action was the #1 contenders U.S. Championship triple threat match between Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, and Carmelo Hayes. This match was a lot of fun. All the superstars really gave it their all. Jacob Fatu is out of this world. Carmelo Hayes is my pick for men's Money in the Bank this year, but it'll be for the Intercontinental Championship or the U.S. Championship. I don't think he gets hot-shotted that fast to the main event. And with the storyline and how the landscape of WWE is going to be from now to the end of the year, I don't think he breaks into that main event tier till next year. But I do feel like he does get either IC or US Gold, and he has a great run with it because go watch Carmelo Hayes in NXT when he had the NXT Championship. Banger after banger after banger. That guy can wrestle. I was about to curse again, but I'm trying to limit my cursing in my video. But he can wrestle. He can wrestle, man. He's a top tier talent. And I've been telling people literally 4 years he's going to be a top tier talent. Diamond, if you're watching this, you know I said this at least in 2020, 2021 that Carmelo Hayes is going to be a superstar. And we working on that. We working on that. With that being said, let's get back to the match. Jacob Fatu ran wild. Carmelo Hayes had his moments. LA Knight had his moments. Man, they tried to double team Jacob Fatu. That didn't work. He was just bulldozing through him. At one point, they were both outside. All the superstars were outside, and they were trying to throw each other around into the barricades. At one point, Jacob Fatu tried to go crush LA Knight with the barricade, and LA Knight dove out the way, and Fatu fell over the top. At the end of the match, Fatu did his moonsault. LA Knight threw him out the ring and snuck the pin to get the victory. So now, I don't know when. I'm assuming on a SmackDown between now and WrestleMania, LA Knight gets the United States Championship off of Shinsuke Nakamura. Especially and unfortunately because of the death of his brother, it is no need for him to hold the belt anymore. Go be with your family. Sorry, you're probably gonna miss WrestleMania now. Or, like I said earlier when we talked about it, five-way it up. LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Shinsuke Nakamura. Do a 5-way. That's how you get 5 people on there, and they all got something to fight for. But with that being said, let's get to the next segment. The next segment showed CM Punk and Cody Rhodes backstage having a conversation, providing insight into their perspectives on The Rock's recent offer to Rhodes. CM Punk approached Rhodes questioning the legitimacy of The Rock's offer, which purportedly included various perks in exchange for Rhodes' soul. Punk amused that a younger version of himself might have accepted such an offer without hesitation. However, with age and experience, he recognized the potential pitfalls of such a decision. Punk candidly advised Rhodes to reject The Rock's proposition, suggesting that he should shine it up real good, turn it sideways, and shove it up The Rock's part-time Hollywood candy ass. Emphasizing the importance of trusting one's instincts, Punk encouraged Rhodes to rely on his own judgment rather than seeking shortcuts. So, CM Punk being the devil himself is a choice for you to be telling Cody Rhodes not to take this decision. But Punk already has his, you know what I'm saying, his get out of jail free card in his back pocket, aka the Paul Heyman favor. So, like I speculated earlier, what if he sold his soul for the Paul Heyman favor? I don't think that would be it, because the favor was in a whole separate storyline last year. But I definitely think that would be a cool plot twist to the Paul Heyman favor. But I don't see that being that. But I definitely see that Punk selling his soul. It will only make sense if the favors grouped together. If the favors not grouped together, Punk selling his soul is like, all right, so now the favor just vanished from thin air, and everybody on Twitter would be like, hey, there's a plot hole right here. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Punk loses, and in this build to WrestleMania with Drew, I feel like it's Drew McIntyre that's gonna sell his soul, and it's going now really sitting with this after last night. I feel like it's Cody Punk Drew, or it's Cody Cena Punk, and the person that sells their soul gets, I guess, shown at WrestleMania, and then we lead into that starting the new wrestling cycle over, like Raw after Mania. But yeah, man, with that being said, let's get to the next segment. Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes going out to speak to the crowd, and then The Rock popping up on video, intensifying the storyline. To sway Rhodes' decision, The Rock presented him with a custom truck symbolizing his willingness to invest in Rhodes' future. He emphasized that accepting the offer would propel Rhodes to new heights within the WWE. Then, in this segment, it took an extremely wild turn, because when The Rock showed up on camera and was walking into camera, he had a weight belt. The weight belt was used all of Road to WrestleMania last year. The Rock put blood on it. The Rock put Cody Rhodes' mom on it, Mama Rhodes, wiped Cody blood on it, the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? So this year, they brought it back. Small detail that I don't think people noticed, or they noticed it because they showed it, but it was a huge part of last year's Road to WrestleMania, and when he revealed what was on the belt, I was like, oh shit. Because when The Rock revealed the belt, it says Cody Rhodes sold, and then it has June 11th, 2015. And that was the day Dusty Rhodes died. So The Rock said, you know that date, that's the day when your dad died. And that's the day my heart broke. And he's like, don't you break my heart again tomorrow. So this nigga The Rock is insane. He's insane. Like, I'm all in on this storyline. I cannot wait till tonight to see what happens. I cannot wait to see what happens afterwards and how the road to WrestleMania turns out. With that being said, the show closed with Cody Rhodes looking conflicted. And then that was it. That was SmackDown for you last night. With that being said, I ain't even gonna speculate nothing no more, because I've been speculating all video. With that being said,